Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Councillors in attendance are Councillor Madsen, Mayor Teresa Harding, Deputy Mayor Nicole Jonik, Councillor. They're the councillors, and Councillor Andrew Antonelli as Deputy Chairperson. I have an apology, or I'm going to ask Councillor Antonelli to move a leave of absence for Councillor Augustine.
Yeah, I'd like to move a leave of absence for Councillor Augustine from attending the meeting today.
Good. And I understand Councillor Madsen's going to second that? Good, thank you. And I'll now ask Councillor Antonelli to move the acknowledgement of country.
We need to vote.
Oh, sorry. Yes, all in favour of the leave of absence? Carried unanimously, Vicky. Thanks, Vicky. Right, now I'll ask Councillor Antonelli to move the acknowledgement of country.
Ipswich City Council respectfully acknowledges the traditional owners as the custodians of the land, winds and water we all share. We pay our respects to their eldest, past, present and emerging, as the keepers of the traditions, customs, cultures and stories of a proud people.
Thank you, Councillor Antonelli. Do any members of the committee have a declaration of interest in any of the matters on the agenda? I don't believe so. So I'll move into business outstanding. There's nil business outstanding. Now I'll now move on to the first item on the agenda, which is confirmation of the minutes of the Environment and Sustainability Committee number 2024-06 of 14 November 2024. Do I have a seconder? A mover for that one? Councillor Madsen? Good, thank you. And Councillor Jonik, do I have a seconder for that one? Good, thank you very much. Is there any discussion? No discussion? The recommendation is that minutes of the Environment and Sustainability Committee held on the 14th of November 2024 be confirmed. All in favour? Good, carry unanimously. Next item on the agenda, item 2, is new offset stormwater quality improvement policy and updated voluntary payment. This item relates to an issue. Since 2012, the Ipswich City Council has operated the off-site stormwater quality improvement program. The program enables off-site stormwater quality improvement in the Ipswich local government area. In late 2022, a formal review of the program was undertaken, which identified several issues and recommendations to address them. This included a preparation of a new council policy to ensure consistent decision making in the program and an update to the council's voluntary offset stormwater quality improvement payment to ensure environmental, financial and other risks are controlled. Do any councillors require a council officer? No, good. I'll ask for a mover. Perhaps Mayor, you want to move it? You move, good. Councillor Antonelli, second. Any discussion before I put it to a vote? No discussion. All in favour? Good. Carried unanimously. I'll move on to the third item on the agenda, sustainability policy review. The sustainability policy adopted by the Ipswich City Council in 2020 was due for a mandatory 4-year review on 26 November 2024. As a result, we have this document in the agenda. The policy has been reviewed and updated to enhance its commitment to sustainability, align with current best practices and incorporate principles such as climate resilience and sustainable procurement. The updated policy is prepared for adoption to ensure it remains relevant and demonstrates the Council's ongoing commitment to sustainability. Does anyone require a council officer to? No? Okay. Well, I'll ask for a mover. Do I have a mover for this? Councillor Antonelli. Second to Councillor Madsen. Any discussion before I put it to a vote? Yes, Mayor.
Thank you, Chair. I commend and will be supporting this policy review. Council will improve transparency by regularly reporting on sustainability goals and progress with an annual sustainability report and engage with the community through public forums. You're getting some feedback. Okay, thank you. In addition to managing, it's still going. Okay, thank you. In addition to managing resources responsibly, Council will implement regenerative practices that restore and enhance ecological health. We will focus on empowering the community through education and supporting grassroots sustainability initiatives. Our emphasis on circular economy principles that promote reuse and recycling will continue, and Council will also commit to enhancing energy efficiency across all operations. This policy allows for Council to show leadership in fostering collaborative efforts with other levels of government, businesses, and the local community to build a resilient and thriving sustainable city. So thank you, Chair.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, councillor Jonik, sorry.
Just in relation to the revised policy in the statement, there seems to be an opening bracket but not a closing bracket in the opening statement, unless
The opening statement or the recommendation?
the opening statement of the actual policy.
I think we'd
So
need...
it's just,
okay, I'll have a look.
just a clerical issue,
Okay.
that's all.
Is this in the first paragraph, you're correct?
Yeah, correct. Through the chair, we just need to put a closing bracket around the word council. It's just seeking to reference Ipswich City Council as council through the document, so we can ensure that we add that closing bracket around council in the draft before it comes to council.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Does that address your concerns, councillor Jonik?
Yep.
Good, thank you. The recommendation is the revised policy titled Sustainability Policy as detailed in Attachment 3 be adopted. All in favour? Unanimous? Thanks very much. Carried, Vicky, carried. Number 4, Waste and Circular Economy Transformation Directive Quarterly Report. This is a report concerning the continuing implementation of the Ipswich City Council Waste and Circular Economy Transformation Policy Directive, following the review of the directive at the Ordinary Council meeting held on the 3rd of September 2024. Does anyone require the council officer to answer any questions? No. I'll ask somebody to move the motion. Mayor, good. And councillor Antonelli, can you second the motion? Good. Any discussion? Mayor?
If I can, thank you, Chair. Council continues to reflect the community's interest in ensuring waste is managed appropriately and that a circular economy is adopted where possible. Council's efforts have resulted in more local waste being diverted away from landfill to green waste or recycling instead. An additional compliance role has been funded for this financial year and will help to drive better compliance within the waste industry through improved programs and enforcement actions. It's really great to see progress continues to be made regarding waste and circular economy for the benefit of the people of Ipswich.
Well done, Mayor. As can be seen on the screen, the motion is that the report be received and the contents noted. All in favour? Unanimous? Thanks very much, committee members. The next item on the agenda is the Ipswich Rivers Improvement Trust's Notice of Annual Precept for 2024-25. This is a report concerning the annual precept issued to Council under the Rivers Improvement Trust Act 1940 and the associated program of works for the Ipswich Rivers Improvement Trust for 2024-25. Do any committee members require a council officer to answer any questions? No. Then I'll ask for a mover. Councillor Madsen and maybe Councillor Jonik could second that. Good, thank you. Any discussion, Mayor? Any discussion on this one? Okay, well, I'll put it straight to the vote. All in favour? Good, unanimous, carried. The next item on the agenda is item 6, the Enviro Plan Annual Report 2023-2024. This is a report concerning the Ipswich Enviro Plan Program and the levy annual progress report for 23-24 financial year. Contained within this report is an overview of project delivery, outcomes and a financial summary including expenditure and revenue and highlights for the past year, which include a land acquisition in April 2024 of 93 hectares at Mount Flinders Road, Peak Crossing, $164,778, which was provided to the Ipswich community in the Nature Conservation Grants, and $351,224 towards 156 hectares of ongoing fuel-reduced area maintenance for the control of wildfires in the natural area estates and protection of life and property. Do any councillors, any committee members require a council officer to answer any questions? No. Then I'd ask one of the committee members to move the report. Mayor, thank you. And I'd ask one of the committee members to second the report. Councillor Madsen, saw your hand move. Good, thank you. Any discussion, Mayor? Yep.
If I may, Chair. The Enviroplan levy continues to be a vital tool for preserving and enhancing our unique natural environment in Ipswich. In the past year, more than $1.7 million was spent on acquiring land and loan servicing. More than $420,000 was used to support community nature conservation partnerships, with almost $478,000 for nature conservation planning. Almost $2 million was spent on embellishment, capital and operational management within the natural area estate. Council's largest conservation land acquisition in more than 10 years, totalling 93 hectares, was made at the Mount Flinders Road at Peak Crossing in April. The land borders Flinders Goulman Conservation Estate will increase the environmental and habitat value of this estate for a variety of rare and threatened species, including a substantial koala priority habitat area, which will now be protected for future generations. To see the full breakdown of how the Enviroplan levy is spent, I would encourage residents to go to Council's Transparency Integrity Hub to see all the details there. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Mayor. It's a wonderful program. If there's no further speakers, I'll put the matter to a vote. All in favour? Unanimous, carried. Now, the next item on the agenda is an updated Flying Fox Roost Management Plan. The Council's Flying Fox Roost Management Plan and Statement of Management Intent has undergone a review and update. This update included third-party expert input as well as community engagement through Shape Your Ipswich. Does any committee members require a council officer to speak? Yes, ma'am.
May I ask a few questions
Yeah, sure.
about flying fox, the management of flying foxes?
Yeah, I'll ask the relevant councillor. Phil, is it your patch? I just volunteered you, Phil. That's right. He showed interest when I spoke. That's right. Right, Phil, if you can just say your name and your position.
Yeah, certainly. Phil Smith, I'm the Manager for Natural Environment here at Ipswich City Council.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Smith, obviously we have a lot of, issues with, we have some of the schools like Ipswich Central School has obviously the flying fox roosting. So what are the changes in regards to this?
Not many changes, I suppose, in terms of the principles that we apply to flying fox management. Really, the review was triggered by the fact that we've had the plan in place for a while, and it's pertinent to stay up to date with contemporary management practices and things like that. So fundamentally, not too much in the way of major changes, just an update and making sure that we're doing the right and best things.
So we get a lot of feedback from residents who do get concerned. They do respect the flying foxes, but also trying to make sure that their kids are safe at school or in their backyards. Is there anything that any advice you could give them?
Well, for private owners, not so much. So this plan as a plan really deals with councils and the public land and the way we manage that. We have an as of right to do that under state legislation, and the state legislation applies to private land as well. If people have got questions, I suggest they seek advice and information either through our own website, which links to the appropriate state websites, including Queensland Health, that has some really good health information, and also to the Department of Environment in terms of the legislation and how it applies to private landowners.
And so for schools, how would they manage it? Do they have an obligation for the Department of
The
Education?
schools, as landowners, are under the same regulations that we are in regards to how they can manage it. Obviously, there are provisions around public safety in those legislation, the way it's managed. We've worked quite closely with the Central State School in this instance because of our proximity and the fact that the roost is partly on council's property. Yeah. So we've had a good and long-standing relationship with that school. But again, in terms of public safety, the information's there on the state and our website links to that. So happy to take questions and guide people in the right direction. But predominantly, what we deal with here is our responsibilities as council to dealing with flying fox roosts on council-owned and public property.
Thank you, Mr Smith. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Matt. Just one quick question, Phil. Are there any other schools that have a roost near the school?
Oh, gosh.
Other than Ipswich State Central Primary School?
I'm aware that there has been historically in other councils outside of Ipswich,
Yeah.
but at the moment I wouldn't know. I'd have to take that on notice
So
and
you
have a look
think
around.
that's the only school in Ipswich that has a
That
roost?
I am aware of
Yeah.
that has raised concerns about a risk. That's the only one, but that's not to say that doesn't exist.
No, of
but it's
course
not
not.
that I'm
Good.
looking at my
Thanks.
team who are shaking their heads. So no.
Does any other committee members have any questions of Phil? No. Thanks very much, Phil.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. All right, well, I'll ask for a mover of the motion, and I'll read the motion that the council adopt the new Ipswich City Council Flying Fox Roost Management Plan 2024 as detailed in attachment 1, and council adopt the updated Flying Fox Statement of Management Intent as detailed in attachment 2. Do I have a mover on that, Councillor Johnnick, and Councillor Antonelli, a seconder? Any discussion? Mayor, did you want to say anything? Any discussion, Councillor Antonelli? Any discussion? Good. If there's no discussion, I'll put the motion the motion that's on the screen. I'll put that to a vote. All in favour? All in favour. Thanks very much. Carried. That's the final item on the agenda, but I'll run through the other headings. There's no nil notices of motion. As far as I know, there's no matters arising. Do we have any questions or general business? I don't think we have any. Do we have any procedural motions and formal matters? I don't think so. Well, that being the case, I close the meeting. I close the meeting at 207. Yeah, it's 2024 still. Thank you very much, committee members.